All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell, and check this out. With the advent of groups like MGTOW, that's men going their own way. There's plenty of information on the internet here. There are a lot of men today that is just simply opting out of marriage and opting out of relationships because I don't know what's happened. Because, when you read, if you are a believer in this book, when you read this book, it tells you clearly the way the behavior of a woman should be. But what we see in society is something totally different. And so men who are being raked over the coals, literally raped over the coals in these statutory courts, when it comes to marriage, which I've told you for years, decades just about, don't go out there and get their marriage license. You do, it's game over for you, man. And people are opting out of relationships. The rich people, when they get married, they do it right. What they do is they go and draw up a contract. That's what this actually mentions, something like that. Some people call it ketubla. You can't find it in there, but it's an agreement. All right, and they draw up a prenuptial agreement just in case one of you or both of you decide to go stark raving mad or crazy as hell. And because when you start off in a relationship, everything looks like peaches and cream. Everything looks like that everything is going to go fine. Well, then the troubling reality sets in. And things start going sour, and we watch the viciousness of a lot of women. But anyway, this particular video is about right here. I'm going to put the link down below. Drudge reporters reporting. Check this out. The sex bot is no longer a weird fantasy, but a troubling reality. Now, let me think about this for a second. If it's a sex bot, then guess what? Since it's an inanimate object, there's no fornication, there's no adultery, according to what the word defines. And one of the headlines says right here is that these things are reality. And the deal with the sex bot and this thing looks real. I'm looking at it right now. Like I said, you got to check this out below. The difference with the sex bot as opposed to a woman, the sex bot is something that modern day Western English society women are not. And what's that? Submissive. Don't get mad and upset at me. If you've been listening to me any length of time, you know that I tell both sides going to be judged based on their role. But it says right here, this is a barely audible check as her doe-like eyes frame by thick black lashes, snap open. Hello, humans. My name is Harmony, says the gentle Scottish lit. My objective is to be a perfect companion. And of course, she goes on to speak. But then it says, but spends an hour in the company of Harmony, claimed by the creator Matt McMullen, to be the world's first commercial available sex bot. And it is hard not to be intrigued and repulsed at the same time. For while Harmony is in reality a talking robot, or the talking robotic head and a relatively unsophisticated sex doll, she is the first sex bot for sale in a sickening new industry fueled by lust and money, and the detractors can only degenerate and objectify women further. Well, I tell you what, they can make all these disparaging comments all they want. But if the need wasn't there, then men would not be turned into sex bots as opposed to dealing with the reality of a schizophrenic, off the chain, demonically possessed, roller coaster emotional ride, unsubmissive women. The market is there. And I predict that you're going to be watching nowadays a lot of lonely women because they simply don't know how to behave in their role. But I'm looking at these things, and these things, boy, you can every size, every color, every shape, or whatever it is. And I predict, give it about 20, 30. By the time, they already got these things. Wait till you see these things. They look, feel, act. Wait till you see these things. A man can actually go out and get the type of woman that he wants, even though it's a robot. He doesn't have to worry about all the mind games, the mental gymnastics, and all this other stuff. And hey, like I said, if the market wasn't there, you can say what you want to say. That's all there is to it. You can say what you want to say. It says that they're going to go on sale in January between 7,600 pounds and 15,200 pounds. And you think about that, it's pretty cheap when you think about marriage as a whole, because marriage is probably, the marriage contract is probably one of the most expensive contracts that a man can engage in. Now, will he be able to get seed from his women? No. Well, he won't be able to get no seed from his women. But I think that when you look at the advent of MGTOW and men going their own way, is that, hey, they can spend the rest of their life on themselves and don't have to worry about all the drama, the inconsistencies, the mental gymnastics, the game. I'm a pastor and I deal with counseling all of the time. And I can tell you the biggest problem in marriages or relationships today is this, is that people are too busy trying to form and conform others after their own form of reality rather than both of them functioning in their role, be it male or female. And by far, the person that has the most trouble functioning in their role is the woman, because they don't care about what this says. They don't care about what society says. And the woman has the backing of the judicial court system here in America. That's the reason why men are no longer contracting through a marriage license. And I say you're an idiot if you go out and get a marriage license. Either way, because the marriage license is not for you, it's not for her. All it does is invite you into a third-party polygamous relationship with the state, another inanimate object. So don't tell me, women, how disgusting it is with these men going out here and having sex with an inanimate object or a robot when you freely go out and contract with a thing that doesn't, you can't even see them. They just exist. It's a state. And to show you how much power the state has, when you get married, you don't even have the power to dissolve that relationship if you are the authority man, or if you've got your own mind woman. You have actually got to go to the one that is in authority in that relationship in order to be able to dissolve the relationship, and that is the state. And they're going to get into your assets, and lawyers are going to get paid big money, because divorce in America is well over 50%. So monolygamy is just, who champions itself as the model of marriage in society, in Christian society, in American stuff, is not doing too good at all. You stand a 50% chance of actually getting divorced and through monolygamy in this world. Now, you think about this for a second. Think about this. Listen to me for a second. 50% chance. That's like playing Russian roulette. All right, watch this. Let's say you have to go on a trip, and the airlines can only guarantee you a 50% chance that you will make it to your destination. Would you get on that aircraft? Not no, but hell no. So guess what? Men are opting out of marriage today according to civil authorities. Because think about this. Adam and Eve didn't have a marriage license. George Washington didn't have a marriage license. None of the patriarchs in this Bible had a marriage license. It's a creation of the state that came about in the 30s and 40s, because, there's a certain demographic of people and stuff didn't like this race mix and stuff. And so they came up with these miscegenation laws and stuff. And so in order for them to get married, they had to, you can do everything on the government as long as you can pay the money. That makes you legit. Forget about morals, forget about values. Pay the money, makes you legit. What a schizophrenic world we live in. You got the red pill and the blue pill. I tell you what, it's a sad reality. I realize that in this country that people are no longer interested in truth, even preachers. I listen to the majority of preachers. They will tell you the truth for a little while, and then they'll give you their opinion. They'll tell you the truth over here for a little while, then they'll speak 20, 30 minutes about their opinion. Yeah, they will. There's a new spirit out today that would actually agree with the truth of the Bible, but at the end of it, they'll try to dismantle their truth by giving you their opinion. I'm telling you, we are living in the Antichrist the anti-Messiah age. But hey, can't blame it, because this monster that has been created by the feminist movement, the movement of this world, taking women out of their places and roles, and men out of their places and roles. Women, it ain't looking too good for you concerning marriage going forward. You think about it. The majority of the men now want to be sodomites. It's already, you start off already, let's just use the dismal figures of 3 to 1. For every 3 women, there's only 1 man. You include sodomy, 4 to 1. Drug users and pushers that don't care, 5 to 1. Incarceration, 6 to 1. I mean, men going their own way, 7 to 1. I can continue to keep on going and keep on going up until I get about the 11 to 1. So I'm telling you, things are looking bad as far as society goes. But you know what? This is an evil and an adulterous generation. But if you go out and buy a robot, you don't have to worry about adultery then, do you? And that's something. And guess what? You don't have to worry about no back talk. You don't have to worry about somebody contending with you. You don't have to worry about somebody spending all the money on some foolish, stupid stuff, ignorant stuff. You don't have to worry about, there's a bunch of things that, as far as the man goes, you don't have to worry about. Now, will they make robots for women too? I'm sure they will. Only one thing, one problem, woman. The only reason why a lot of women get married, see, you may have been deceived in your younger years, go out and get your education and all this other stuff, but your biological clock is ticking. And you're going to see that you should have chosen children in your early years rather than your later years. Because in your early years, you're more equipped mentally and spiritually to deal with them and take care of them. When you get older, you're almost like a grandmama. And I'm telling you, this world has deceived you and tearing down the man and taken the wrong way. Now, are there a bunch of boot-licking, jack-leg men out there? Sure there are, but I know some good men whose wives are just cutting a teetotal, literal fool. They don't have the backing of this, but they got a backing of a bunch of effeminized men. Yeah, they do, a bunch of sissy men. I tell you what, this sex bot, hey, if a man go to work, come home to a sex bot that's going to be submissive and everything else, man, that looks like the ticket for them. They look like the ticket, because, you know, to find a wife, and every woman is not a wife, especially, you know, this world is something. My mindset is something. A woman can go out there and have 10, 15, 20, 30 men insert their DNA in her. Before she gets married, she done played the field. 10, 15, 20, 30 men done been inside her. Then she turns around and goes and finds a man that's a sucker and ends up getting married to him. And she wears a white dress, and then she expects for this man to just be teetotally 100% faithful to her, when she still has the potential and still going to probably do it again to go out and get more men. Because if she developed that attitude before marriage, she's going to still have an attitude after marriage. And that's a fact. And that is a straight up fact. Promiscuity and promiscuous is something else. What happened to the days of virgins getting married? I mean, I just, within the last year or two, I remember, let me see, what was the oldest one? The oldest virgin that I married in the ministry, I went and performed a wedding up in New York. She was 27 years old. 27 years old. She waited for her husband. Waited. Isn't that amazing? It was beautiful too. That is gone, because in this world, boy, the peer pressure out there, oh boy, they be messing you people up. You know, I said before you 2 ways, life and death. You choose. Have a good day.